Okay, we have everybody. Let's share mics. We'll slide the mics down. That way we all have one.
Oh yeah. Hey.
There we go. Now we all have mics.
Does this one work? Yes, voice of God. There
You're
we
not
are.
God. Brittany Karbowski's God.
That's true. That's very true. This show, you're right. Howdy. Welcome to Maria Holic panel. Maria Holic Alive. I am Chris Ayres. I am the ADR director. And I will pass this off to other people who are more involved with the show than I am.
Hi, I'm Jessica Calvello, and I play Kanako in Maria Holic and Maria Holic Live. And both of those volumes together it was over 40 hours. The first volume was 27 and a half hours of recording for Jessica. And the second volume, I think, was 21 or 22 hours. And I can't math, but I think that's over 40.
Yeah.
I'm not over 40. Make no mistake about it, don't go to my wiki. But the hours accumulated was balls. It was a lot.
It was a whole lot.
Yeah.
We got to spend a lot of time together, which was
Which
important.
I freaking loved. And we'll
Me
get to
too.
that in a minute. So, who's that mean person down there?
How about
You stop.
Hey, you pig, quit it.
Oh, wow. Starting off with
You've been-
pig already. All
You've been
right.
blaming me all weekend for being a bitch to you, so I'm gonna start doing it now.
I didn't say the B word. I just said you're really mean to me, and I just Facebooked about it too. So, whatever, Matsunika, you're a hoe.
So I'm Caitlynn French, and I play Matsurika.
She's amazing.
And I am the terribly mean maid who delivers everything in this wonderfully deadpan tone, who serves Maria, Maria is played by the lovely Monica Rial, who is both cross-dressing and does a voice of a girl and an amazing low-tone boy. But I'm the maid that knows the secret, and I don't know, I'm kind of like a weird Deus Ex Machina sometimes
Yeah.
in the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
You
I'm
and
a
God
Deus
both
Ex.
are. You and God are both Deus Ex Machina. No, I will say this real quick about Monica. Monica actually does 4 different voices for the show. She does Maria as a girl,
Yeah.
Maria as the boy, Maria's sister as a girl, and Maria's sister who's at the all boys school pretending to be a boy. So she actually does 4 different characters. It's really, really wonderful.
I'm Krystal LaPorte. I play a cat that bitch slaps a dog in a flashback.
Bitch
It
kitty.
was
That was one of your
extremely,
early things. For
that
us.
was one of my
Yes,
early
it was
things.
Brian
It
Kitt's
was
cat.
extremely rewarding. I think I'm a better person for it.
Because you got to hit something?
Okay,
guess
I
it's
will
therapeutic.
tell a secret about this show. I will tell a secret that I've never said before anywhere.
We don't even know the secret?
You don't even know this.
Oh my God. Now, I tend to get a little worried when Chris prefaces with that
No, because it
statement.
involves you.
All right.
Okay, so Jessica had been away from the studio for a while. You'd come back and done Girls and Ponzer. I think that was...
I did girls.
It was the first time that you and I worked together in the studio.
Ever. Yeah.
Ever. Well,
we've been on stage
we worked together
together.
on stage. I was talking about the fact that I directed you on stage.
Yes.
It was the first time I'd ever worked with her in the studio. And this is a huge show. And I knew it was popular. In fact, they asked me, we had 2 shows come up, and they said, which show do you want? And I knew that whatever I didn't do was going to go to a contract director. And I'm like, okay, Maria Holic has this huge cast and is 2 seasons, and I don't want to dump that on somebody new. I'll take the show. It seems more difficult. That's what I'll do. So I was looking at the show and I thought, I want to use Calvello. I think Calvello will be brilliant as Maria. As Maria.
Oh. I somehow missed that. As Maria.
As Maria.
Okay.
And so I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, I need to talk to a couple of people. And so I talked to Matt.
Okay.
At Greenfield. And I said, I'm thinking about this because I know he knows all the shows that we're working on. I'm like, thinking about this. He goes, are you sure about that? And I went, what do you mean? He said, I think there is somewhere better that Jessica would fit. And I said, because Maria was so funny to me.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about the and I was like, I was just hearing you in my head. And he goes, think about the other lead. It's more lines, but think about how fast that character has to go and how hysterically funny that, and I went, oh my God, you're right. What am I thinking? So it was, originally I had you and Monica reverse.
Oh, wow.
And then Matt said, Monica will not be able to go as fast as.
Wow.
And yeah, and I'm so glad I did because both of you are so. And you know, there's a reason that Matt is one of my mentors. He really, you know, he'll every now and again go, have you ever thought about this? And I'm like, I feel so stupid. Yeah. so yeah, originally I thought about you for Maria.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for casting me, period. But yeah, no, I didn't know that. And
Yeah.
Maria's a real challenging role.
Both are incredibly challenging in different ways.
They are. That's it. They are in totally different ways.
Yeah.
She does talk. I liken Kaneko to, you know, Excel's cousin 8 times removed. Just the rapid fire and having to maintain that level of energy. Not just Jessica the human being exhausted. Like we're not even talking about that yet. That's a whole different thing. But staying in character and making sure that Kaneko is excited about every single thing that comes up. You know, the seaweed in the purse is an issue. The hives, the nosebleeds, and the thing that I found the most challenging in this role, yes, was the rapid fire, but it's the same trouble I had, not trouble, arg, I'm a pirate. I really struggled with, and we talked about this a lot, and you always knew when I needed a break. You always knew, because it's so easy when you do have a natural inclination for comedy and the zany characters, as I do, to make everything sound the same and to be boring. And it's like, oh, shut up, my ears are bleeding, and it's too much. And I think that's where I, personally, as an actress, I can say this about myself and my performance in Cell Saga. Now, I was directed this way, but when everything's here, like if the idea is to do this and to have, you know, natural, but you're directed to be here all the time, then there's no place to go. And I really struggled with that with Chris, and I was like we would do a take, and there would be nothing wrong with it. The acting was there, the energy was there, the voice was there, the character was there.
And we'd both go,
something, it could be better.
Yeah.
Not even that something's wrong, but it could be better. And then so I really loved finding moments like that. Like I remember this, I think it might have been in Maria Holic Alive. I'll never forget this. There's one of her freakouts and one of her tangents, which is like every other line. And she does this thing, I can't remember where it is, but it's like, she goes, and she throws her arms out. She's on chibi form, and she does this, and she's got the nosebleeds coming out. And it's this very quick moment. It's not even a second long. And I'd originally done it, and it's just like, la 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 la, you know, just typical whatever. And we were going back and listening to it, and I was like, Chris, I'm like, she really like, it feels like she's going to go operatic there. Like, it really is going to be operatic. And Chris is like, let's go for it. And so we redid it, and it was like, ah! And it was so fast, but like enough for us to crack our shit up for like a minute. And so it was those moments of trying to find something different where I wasn't just screaming all the time, because that is very boring to me, and it's not interesting to me. Yeah. So, yeah.
So you guys, what questions do you guys have? Who here has seen Maria Holic? Oh, we actually have some people who've seen it. That's really nice.
Maria Holic and Alive, or just Maria Holic? Both?
Oh yeah,
right.
got both.
You gotta
I'm
see
just
that.
aware of it.
You're aware of it?
Yeah.
Basically,
crazy.
the story is about a girl who goes to an all-girls school that her parents went to find the love of her life. Yes, an all-girls school.
All girls, what kind of a school, Chris?
All-girls school.
And?
Catholic.
Catholic.
Which
Yes.
her dad's a teacher.
Was
a teacher, and her mom had her at 16. I
Yeah.
just want you all to think about that, because I caught it the second time. I was going through a lot more.
Yeah. So when she gets there, she meets this, and she falls in love at the drop of a hat. She gets to school, she meets this beautiful girl named Maria, this beautiful blonde incoming freshman, who's just the belle of the ball. Her family's super rich, and her maid, Matsurika, who is already a bitch.
She's so
Yeah,
mean.
I think her first line to her is oink.
Yeah,
So
mean.
So she, oh, here comes Josh, greet you.
Hey, honey.
So anyway, so she falls in love with Maria, only to, within 10 minutes later, find out Maria is actually a dude who is cross-dressing to be at the all-girls school because of this thing that's gone on with the grandmother. Thing goes on, Maria decides that, no, I have to be Kaneko's roommate because nobody can find out that I'm a dude. and proceeds to make Maria's life hell.
Kaneko's
Kaneko's life hell. As Kaneko falls for every friggin' girl at the school.
Because she's convinced herself that she's a rage horny lesbian who anytime a man touches her,
Yes.
she breaks out into these horrible hives. Yeah, it's so awful. So
The hives go beep, 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 beep. No, 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 no.
Like a cat.
Quite like that.
The scenes you had with Father Kanai.
Oh, let me, can I bring up something that is somewhat off topic?
Yeah.
Because I've had several people in the past confront me about this. So I'm going to take it from comedy to something a little more serious for a moment. There was, earlier this year, an incident that came up with an actor in the industry who plays Father Kanai. Illy Cordiola, it was reported that he had been arrested for dating a 16-year-old girl, and that he married her and whatnot. Illich is a very good friend of mine, and there was a lot of fans that were calling for everything that he'd ever done to be redubbed. And because of the nature of him being in love with young girls, I've been asked about this several times at conventions. So I just want to address it since we're on a panel about the show. Illich, there was a lot of misnomers about what happened. The girl was not 16. The girl was of legal age. Illich was being harassed. They were being harassed by the police. When it did go to trial. And it's interesting, all of these things came out, and nothing came out afterwards about what the end results were. It did go to trial. It was brought before a judge in Texas. When the judge looked at all the facts, he said, there's not a case here. Not only was the case dismissed, it was thrown out. Unfortunately, it's tainted fans' perception, and I think that's a really sad thing. So since Father Kanai came up, I did want to say that if you've heard those rumors about our friend Illich, there were quite a few lies involved in that, and the case was actually thrown out of court. So.
now, did your question have anything to do with that, or were you just bringing?
I just wanted to say that.
Just talking about the reaction Kaneko has to men.
Right.
Yeah.
The most comical ones were the ones with Father Kanai. Because
Yes.
he was so completely missing the point.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting because he talks almost as fast as you do in that show.
Does he?
Yes.
He has a couple of runs that are light speed.
Yeah.
It's not quite as fast as the stuff that you do, but it's insanely fast. And
Yeah.
it was interesting to watch both of you work on that.
Yeah, I recorded before him, I think, so I didn't get to hear any of his work, and I haven't watched it. But I'll have to go back and check that out.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
The thought I had with Father Kanai was,
Uh-huh.
I think one of the purposes for his character was to show Kaneko's behavior in a grown man.
Absolutely.
To say unacceptable is unacceptable.
Unacceptable is unacceptable. Yes, absolutely.
Projection. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Because also Matsurika and Maria also pick on him.
Yes, oh, they do.
Always.
Horribly.
The only
I pick
people
on
they don't-
everybody.
The only people that
I hate
you
it.
guys don't pick on are yourselves because you think you're perfect.
No,
And
They pick on
Brenda.
each other.
That's
We
what
pick on each
they
other.
do.
Yo,
Whatever, I'm biased. Whatever, I don't believe
The
it.
only person I'm ever nice to is my brother Rindo.
Yeah.
And because I'm always nice to Clint Pickham.
Yeah. How could you not be nice to Clint Pickham?
I love him.
Incidentally, speaking of Clint, I've got to bring this up. Clint was our writer for the show. We
love
were
his scripts.
incredibly lucky to
Yeah,
have
he's
Clint.
really good.
Because not only did Clint write the show, Clint was part of the group that, with Tokyo Pop, that translated the manga. And so Clint has been intimately involved with the Maria Holic story since the manga came out. So he was actually to go back and reference stuff that they did in the manga when he was working on the scripts, which was really nice.
Yeah, the script was really good. To fit all that dialogue in and have it fit the flaps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
impressive.
Difficult. Do you guys have any questions? You've heard a little bit about it, even if you haven't seen it. You guys like comedies? There's some
We
serious
can answer questions about anything.
members
We hear about Maria Holic, but we can answer questions.
Oh yeah, of course.
I do have a story I want to say.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I have a habit of being actually one of the first ones to record in
Okay.
any show I'm in. Except this one time, Jessica had come in before me. Every time I met her was either she is finishing up a session, which I'm so sorry about that 6-hour car wait, about the ice.
Oh, that was horrible.
I'm so sorry because we did
I had
not
to
know
pee
it
in
was
my
gonna be
car.
bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
But, so, there's a line in the show where she mimics me, and I hadn't recorded yet. And Chris did not play this
Oh, I
until
remember.
after this had happened. I say something along the lines of, "Oh, I don't like that," or something in my deadpan tone. She recorded first, so I recorded, and then he plays her line, and it was exactly the same, and she hadn't ever heard me before, and it was creepy, but it was really cool at the same time, because at the first time I was like, that kind of sounds like me, but that's not me. He's like, "Oh no, that's Jessica." I'm like, what? My mom.
That's
You
cool.
had your hand up?
Yeah, so my question is, what was your first reaction when you got the role, once you realized who you're playing? What is your first reaction? I think this is just upon hearing this, is a very interesting dynamic and all that.
Yeah.
So you're like, what's your reaction?
Well, so Chris called me, and we had never worked together in the studio, and the last time I really had seen Chris was like 1999, and I maybe had seen him like in passing at a convention that I went to visit someone at in between them, but as far as like the real connection, because we were very good friends in the 90s, and then I lost touch with a bunch of people that I loved, and so Chris calls me and he's like, I've got this show, and I really want to talk to you about it. I was like, all right. He's described it to me kind of the way he did a minute ago to all of you. And I was like, well, I'm in. I mean, first of all, I'll be working with you, and I love you and I miss you, so that's that. And then second of all, this sounds right up my alley because it's weird and funny, and it just sounds really, really cool. So, but I hadn't YouTubed any of it. I really didn't know what I was getting into, and I don't say that to mean like it's a bad thing. I didn't know what I was getting into. I mean, I just really didn't. I didn't know anything about the story except for what Chris had told me. I knew that I was playing a character that spoke very fast, no problem. So the first time that when I started working on it, that's the first time that I was like, oh, this is Maria Holic and that's Kaneko, and well, I am in for it. I mean, and what also gave me a clue was Brittany, who schedules us. She's like, we need you for, what did I say a minute ago, 27 and a half or 28 and a half? Whatever I said a minute ago, 27 and a half hours. And I was like, oh, for a 26 episode series, and she's the lead? That's kind of light. And she's like, no, honey, this is for the first volume, 27 and a half. And I was like,
12 episodes.
Oh, 12 episodes. Oh. And then so after we recorded that, I mean, that was rough because I was really driving up on the weekends. And then, nights and weekends pretty much. Or like Friday night, and then I would leave Sunday and then go back to Austin. And then I started recording for Attack on Titan kind of at the same time. And I was like, ugh. So when Brittany called and she's like, oh, the second volume, we're ready for you for the second volume. And I was like, oh God, this is another 28 and a half hours. And she's like, oh, this one's only 20, 21 or 22. And I was like, oh God, I have a break. Which is really not a break at all because 22 hours is a lot of recording to do over, a couple of weekends. But I was thrilled. And like a lot of the shows I do now, and this is something we talk about in our old school panel, how back then you actually had time to prep and the directors wanted you to prep, and they would make sure that you had the script ahead of time and the VHS tapes, and you would study. Now it's like, I've got a part for you. This is a schedule we'd like you to come in for. Are you available? You make it work as best you can to be available. So I didn't really know anything about it, but I was thrilled to be working with this man because he's like my favorite director. I'm not just saying that. I love Chris. I'll talk a little bit about that more in a minute. But so you guys.
All right. So up until Matsurica, I had kind of two types of characters I played. I played really, really cute. Three. Really cute. I played the really cute that go insane and die. And then, because I have a really good screaming voice, so I really love dying.
These two scream like something out of a horror movie.
And I play the monotone. But it's always kind of been a more tsundere style monotone, not really anything. So I decided to watch Maria Holic. I'm the type of person who I do like prepping beforehand, or I feel like I panic because I felt so bad about Girls in Panther not knowing what I was doing. It freaked me out. But so this one, I watched it, and I was like, okay, I'm the maid. And then I started watching the translation, and I was like, am I really saying that? And then I got into the booth. You really want me to say shitty tranny? I get to say that? Woo! I was so happy to curse and be a bitch in the booth. Because I am. I always have the really sweet, the monotone line. I get to be mean a lot of times. I do get to be mean now and kind of snarky with the monotone, or I'm really out there. But Matsurika is just a level of damn! So I was really excited for the role. It was actually probably one of the most difficult roles I've done, just reading the lines. Funny enough, Alive was probably one of the hardest ones, because I don't know why, but that day in the booth it was, crap, can we redo that? Constantly. But yeah, getting the role, I loved it. It was fantastic. She's one of my favorites still.
And Krystal, what was the name of that character again?
Well, when I was bestowed the glory of playing the cat, first I called my grandma. And then I contacted my hometown's local news source, let them know that I made it big time. And then I cried.
In the closet?
In the closet.
And then when you came out, were you gay?
Yes.
Okay.
For cats.
Yay.
It's so jellical.
I get it.
Yes.
That took me a minute. I just meow. Yeah.
And Krystal does a great cat, so
Can you do one of your meows for us?
now she's gonna laugh and can't do it.
Sorry.
That was pretty good.
Because sometimes they're chirpy when they're happy. And then when they're like mad, or like when my cat's about to throw up, he talks.
He does.
We've all
We've
seen
heard
this.
this.
happen.
I've seen this
She's heard
recently.
this too.
He'll start going like, and then he like throws up, and then he's like meowing, and he'll be like, threw up, oh my god, and then it's coming up again, no. I love funny.
One thing that I will say about something that Jessica said, with all three of the ladies sitting here up here with me, they are people that, it's like you talked about old school. And I remember you were slammed just before going into Maria Holic. That's why you came in and said, okay, I'm happy to come into this blind. All three of these ladies really do their prep work, and it's really nice that you really do a lot.
I will
When you came in on Problem Children,
I did do the homework for that.
you were like, okay, you're like, yeah, this character, and you had very specific questions.
Yeah, I did.
All three of these actresses really will do due diligence, and I appreciate that, because we've got some actors, I will say, hey, we're getting ready to do this show. The entire series is streaming on Hulu. You can watch it there. And I've had some actors say, well, are they paying me to do it?
To watch Hulu?
To watch the show. They're like,
Wait, what?
I've had some actors say, well,
Oh, because that's part of the prep work?
I'm not getting paid to do this. I'll just come in and do the role.
Oh my god. I don't even want to know who that is.
I know. No, I won't say names.
I don't want to know.
But there's some that are just busy. But there have been a couple that are like, well, if they're not paying me, I'm not going to do it. That's why, and I actually got reamed out by another director who's no longer working in the industry for letting actors know that there was stuff available for them to see. Well, he got very angry at me when I did. I'm not going to say his name, but he got very angry with me when I was doing Dust Made of Amnesia, because the actress who had the lead went through and watched the whole show. Now she's like a lot of you guys. She would have anyway. He felt that I demanded that she watch it, and she was a very busy actress in town and couldn't be bothered with anime. Just saying that tells you it was.
Yeah.
I won't speak ill of the dead.
Yeah.
Well, he's not that he's dead, but he doesn't work in the industry anymore. So.
I kind of like flying blind, to be honest with you.
Sometimes.
I really do like going in there cold. So it's not that I won't do the work, because again, like when I really had to, it was demanded of me. You watch these VHS tapes. There are 2 episodes on each tape. You will come to the studio, pick it up. You will pick up the raw translations. You will write. You will partially write it, because we're not hiring an adapter. So I'll do the homework, but there's something about it. I think because I am a little off, maybe. I like the improv, and I like to be scared, and I kind of like going in and being like, I have no idea who I am or what this is. And I've done that for a few pieces. Problem Children, I was confused by the bunny ears, so I really wanted to know as much about that show as possible.
Yeah.
I did do the homework for that one, but yeah. So
I like watching a little bit of it to see like what my character is and what they sound like, because I like thinking of directions that I want to go and see. First, if that's super consistent with the director, I feel better about myself for having picked up on the same thing that my director wanted. If it's different, I can at least judge in the booth if I want to say, hey, could I try this if it fits with what he originally wanted. And then for the show Muv-Luv, I watched the first half and then left the second half to chance because I didn't want to quite get spoiled because what shows do you talk about where you wanted the actors surprised at what happens at the end?
That's Gantz and Speedway. I'll talk about that in a second.
I wanted a little bit of that too, and it kind of backfired because it turns out that all the ending action is the stuff my character's not in. So I don't understand it now. But I think we killed aliens.
Yeah, I know you killed aliens. No, I've had directors sometimes specifically ask you not to watch. Do not research, do not find out anything because they want you going in blind, and for different reasons. And some I agree with, some I don't. Matt wanted a real honest reaction to the violence and stuff. He wanted a real gut reaction. That kind of worked against him. You had three actors who were dealing with a lot of the violence. Myself, Illich Guardiola, and Shannon Emmerich. Shannon's reactions were probably the ones that most of them were used. Because she was horrified. Illich would see it, and Matt said, and he would just stand there and go, can I have a minute to just process what I've seen? They would show me heads exploding and guts getting ripped out, and I was like, oh, badass! Like, that's not in the case of Speedgrapher, there's a reveal about that character's past in the show that, as an audience member and as a viewer, you gain an understanding of why he is the way he is. And for some actors, that will make you play that sympathy. You really want to play up that sympathy all the way through. Here's the thing, and the director, it was his first time really working with me. He didn't know how I think as an actor, because I played a lot of villains. I don't want you to like him. I don't want you to feel sorry for him. If you come to understand, oh, well, that's why he's doing what he does. You know what? Hitler loved to paint and loved puppies. It didn't make him less of a monster. And I think you rob a character. A good friend of mine, Tommy Sesma, and please don't put this online if you put it online. A good friend of mine played the engineer in Miss Saigon. And I saw him do it, and the problem I had, he played the engineer, which is the most detestable character in the show. He was trying so hard for the audience to like him. And I'm like, oh no, you know, and the director didn't let that happen, so it's the director's choice as much as his. But I feel like if you're playing a villain, I don't care if you find out that it's because his mother beat him as a child or whatnot. That's his past circumstance. It doesn't change who he is now. It doesn't change the evil and hateful things that they've done as a character. So, yeah.
One of the things, though, I took from Maria Holic was I couldn't go hero-villain.
No.
I felt protagonist-antagonist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of, everyone had their moral gray areas.
Yeah. And I was asked yesterday which anime character that I've voiced that I most identify with, and I said Excel Saga, not to be funny. I mean, she's insane. How could I possibly identify with her? But my point in saying her was because she tries so hard and just fails repeatedly. I mean, she plays hard, she works hard, she loves hard, and she just can't get that back. That's not necessarily my life, but I'm just saying, like, she's just so determined and her heart's always in it, and she just tries so hard, and poor Excel, my God. If I was thinking about Maria Holic yesterday, it might be Kaneko, because I was raised in a very strict Catholic home, and had a lot of the same thoughts that Kaneko struggles with. I didn't necessarily break out into hives when I was touched by a boy, but I had very much crushes on women, didn't understand them, didn't understand anything about my own sexuality. I mean, my Catholicism, that's how I reacted to it, which is not to judge anyone else's or anything like that, not even to get into religion. But the show is the show is kind of religious. I mean, every episode, I think every episode she opens with, Dear Mother in Heaven. Dear Mother in Heaven. So her mother's in heaven. And then the stained glass, like they're all the church, and it's beautiful. But like in the booth, I'd be like, twitch, And I mean, there's one, I don't remember what it was, but like, I was like, Chris, I gotta take a break. Like, this is like kind of traumatic for me. Like, she's praying to God and Jesus and all these things, and I'm like, what was my point? I don't remember what it was, but I just identified with that part of Maria Holic and my character, and that was a little tough for me to get through.
Yeah.
The end.
Another cube.
Did I just kill all the fun bringing up my own trauma? I'm amazing.
I'll ask a question, and hopefully that opens up actually two different levels, as a director and as the actors. And you guys have obviously acted out many different shows. At what point do you anticipate a show continue to the next season as an actor and as a director? Do you know that ahead of time?
I never count on it. I never count on it. Even if there's a second season, it doesn't necessarily mean the company you work for is going to pick it up.
Yeah.
Or is going to get it.
Or that'll be dubbed if they do pick it up.
Yeah, or if they pick it up, that it will be dubbed. Look at Super Gals.
Well, the current show, Free.
Yeah.
2 companies are doing each season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Queensblade, that was done by I think 3 different studios.
Yep.
So anyway, go ahead.
And so we don't have a lot of control over that. I need to
hope
have
we'll be in
control
it.
over what shows I'm directing. The studio says, okay, this is your next show. Okay, then this is what I'm working on. And somebody asked me one time recently, I've got a real set belief. I was talking to them at the studio about this. Shows are categorized as an A, B, or C list title. A, super big show, everybody loves. B, it's an okay show. C, most people probably haven't heard of it. I have always and always will treat every show that comes down the pike like it's the most important thing. I treat every show like it's an A-list title because, and I answered this on the
It's also how you treat people, which I love about you.
I'm a jerk with a big cup.
Whatever.
Are we at time? Is it time to finish?
Oh, I'm sorry, I lied. It's 12:30.
Okay, cool. Okay,
My bad.
that's okay.
I'll just sit down here.
No, it's all good. Wait, give me my cup. I lost my train of thought.
stole his power
No, this guy said, this guy said, well, how does it feel when you work on a crappy show? And I
what
don't
an
know.
offensive question.
No, I don't understand that because here's the thing. Just somebody randomly raise your hand. It doesn't matter who. Somebody raise your hand. Right back there. What is your least favorite anime? Ever?
I love them all though.
No. What's your least favorite? What's the one you hate the most?
Oh, this is so hard.
No, he really does love everything. I've been talking to him.
Okay,
He's a
cool. Then
sweetheart.
give me somebody else. Somebody else. A show that
Girls
you hate.
High.
What?
Girls High.
Girls High. Okay, cool. You know what? There are probably in this state alone 100, 150 people that's their favorite show. And here's the thing. So you can't consider any show crappy.
Yeah.
Because every show is someone's favorite show. And so that to me is why and that's what I like about these ladies. They take what they do very seriously. They realize it's not brain surgery, but they take what they do seriously because they all realize that this is their favorite show. And it doesn't matter whether it's an A, B, or C list title. My phone is buzzing. So
Everyone you love is up here. Who could possibly be calling you if it's not with
it's
us?
a friend of mine who's local who was hoping to get together to hang out.
All right.
So
You're forgiven for now.
yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, that's my take on it. What about you guys?
I don't know. I kind of think you spoke for me in a lot of that in the whole concept of anytime there's a show, even if it doesn't have a lot of what people consider deep plot. Actually, I do have a show that I can use as direct reference to this. Not many people like it. A lot of people are like, why is this getting dubbed? Leviathan: The Last Defense. And that is the show I am the title character for. And I watched it some. It's a little dry. But we had an ADR writer, Clint Bickham, I'm in love with Clint Bickham's writing. I'm just going to say this right now. But he took the show and made it something adorably funny. And I was happy to have Leviathan. She's the title character, so I'm very thankful for that. But I was working with people like Brittany and Hillary Hay to bring to life this show that a lot of people are like, why are you wasting time on it? Why does this matter? Well, I look online and there are people who like it. There are people who appreciate it. And I want those people to be able to say, hey, thanks for doing that for us. Because there are people who dubs matter to, like dyslexic people, people who just want to watch the show and not read it. I mean...
And I find it very interesting. Krystal and I have talked about this a lot. Fans' reactions to everything. Why are they dubbing that? Okay, here, you want to know why? I will tell you why.
Someone asked?
You are a production company that wants to do a show. And let's say, and I'm going to use titles from various different companies. And we have got Attack on Titan, and you want Attack on Titan, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool, so you want that. So you're going to pay a lot of money, but in order for me to sell you this, you're going to have to buy and dub and pay for these two shows as well. This may be Leviathan, and it may be, Space Princess Sally. Okay?
I love that.
I know, it's a great show. Here's the thing. You have to dub these. You want this, you have to pay for these, and you have to dub these. That's in your contract. Now fans go, why are they dubbing Space Princess Sally? That show sucks!
Why are they doing my babies?
We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
If we want this, then these are things that are obligated to be done.
And it's a little depressing just because
Bless you.
people get so angry about the existence of a dub when there's like the magic button that makes it talk in Japanese again on your
Yeah.
DVD and your own control player. But there's really, for the things that they get angry at, there is no way to win. They say
Yeah.
every dub actor is a bad actor because they sound flat compared to the Japanese, but
That's language difference.
it's a tonal language.
Japanese is a tonal
There's
language.
difference, like if I say hello to you, do you know what I'm saying? Like I just said hello, like what up, greeting, affirmative greeting, yeah.
Konnichiwa.
But in a tonal language, I could say hello or hello. And those could mean two different hellos. One could be like, die scum, why are you here? The other one could be like, oh my god, I missed you. And so we don't even have that. It's phonetics, it's what the word is. And then the other one is that if you're comparing it to the Japanese, you've obviously seen the Japanese first, and everything that I've ever watched is less impactful and emotional to me the second time, when nothing's surprising me.
Yeah.
So, of course it's going to sound flat. And they just get so angry.
Well, it's another good example, sorry, and I went on a rant on this earlier. A show that was just announced the other day, that we just announced this new show that I'm so excited about, because we've got some brand new voice actors, first time ever in principal roles, who did amazing. The show is already, it was released early by a company, or the discs went out early, it's already up streaming online. The dub is. And people are already complaining. Here's why they're complaining. They're using this new guy, and he doesn't sound good. Why are they using a new guy for this role? Yet, had I gone with a veteran, why aren't they using anyone new? That happened to me with Tomoko Market. I used fairly new actresses in most of the principal roles. They were most of them had not been at the studio more than 2 years.
They called it Nobody Market.
Yeah, they call it Nobody Market. Yet these are the same people that complain if you've got all veterans in a dub.
And
So how do you win?
I know the way to win. Oh.
I have so many friends who say that, and it doesn't matter what country you're in, it's like, why aren't they using new people? Why are they using new people?
Yeah,
I think the problem is, I'm so sorry.
You need to. I mean, you can't just keep using the same voice actor over and over again for like every single series, because then people are like, oh, this is getting so old, I'm hearing the same voice over and over again. It's like, then why won't you let new people do it?
Why do you get angry at new people do it? Yeah.
I think this sounds really jaded, but I do think that they're actually speaking in a different language, and the translation for why are they using new people, why aren't they using new people is, why aren't they using me? And
Yeah.
I feel like so many people will not be happy until
It's them.
we just give them an employment contract and say, you know what, you own anime now, make it all. And it bothers me so much because if you want to do a job, one, don't burn bridges by going on Twitter or Facebook and using your real name to insult the personhood of all of the directors and actors. And on the other hand, then practice and get better at it. I'm not as good as when I first started, but I really want to be good.
Well, you're better than
So
when you first started. You said I'm not as good as when
I wasn't as good when I first started, and I'm hopefully not as good right now as I will be in a year. And I just use that to work hard. I mean, I would really like to one day go to a fan's workplace and treat them like they treat actors for doing their jobs. I would love to go into Starbucks and be like, excuse me,
he gets it
excuse me, but I would like, and go to the cashier and be like, excuse me, what were you thinking when you went from Ethiopia to Kona? What were you thinking? Could you explain to me the processes that go in deciding to go from paper cups to styrofoam? You know that the company down the street uses styrofoam. I don't see you using styrofoam. Get with the picture, go home. And then when the new cashier is there and they just started, I'll be like, where's the old cashier? Where's the old cashier? You don't deserve to be here. You're just a new cashier. And then when the old cashier comes back and replaces the new cashier because I bitch so much about them, I'll wait until they've been going like every day and be like, excuse me, but I go to Starbucks every single day this week. I am a good customer and I've seen you there every day this week, so you need to go home because I don't want you making money and living.
That's pretty
Look,
accurate.
I love that. She just sits there and goes. But that is kind of the attitude you get a lot of times.
I also worked at a coffee bar, so I would never do that.
I work at Starbucks. I feel that so much.
But that's what I want to scream as an actress. I just serve the coffee. Like, I don't know any of the licensing and acquisition.
There was a good question someone asked in a panel, one of the ones I was in yesterday, and they said, you know, how do you do, I think it might have been Josh and I in our Attack on Titan panel. I don't even know what day it is. But they asked, I think it was our panel, Josh, where someone was like, how do you deal with negative stuff, right?
Yep.
First of all, I don't read any reviews of my own stuff.
I don't read anything online.
But sometimes on accident I'll see something. Like I've gone to, I can't remember, someone tweeted me or Facebooked me, and it was a clip from Gatchaman Crowds, and I play Hajime, Gatchaman Crowds. I'm real proud of that show. It's a cute show, and
Great show.
It was my first job with Kyle, and it was a lot of fun. And so I went to the YouTube clip, and for whatever reason, I started reading the comments, and someone said, I think Jessica Calvello was okay as Hajime, but my girlfriend thinks that she sounds like Satan. And I was like, man, I ain't even mad. That's pretty freaking cool. Do you know how hard it is to sound like Satan? Like I was like, I put it on my own Facebook page. I was like, this just happened, and I feel incredible. Do you have a comment?
Have you ever considered doing an anime version of Celebrities Read Mean Tweets?
Yeah, I have. I'm real close actually to getting there, but the reason why I haven't is because it would mean I would have to actually read my own reviews and I accidentally saw something in a forum about me that was terrible, and I thought, oh my God, get off your 12-year-old seat. You know, I mean, like, whatever, I don't know if they were 12, but I'm just saying, like, you can be anything you want on the internet. And for them, they're spewing hate, and I was like, you know what? You can also just not watch my stuff. You can also just be like, I'm just not going to watch anything she said because I don't like her voice. So, but what I do to not get upset is I turn it into a comedy because it really is fantastic. I've never seen in an industry before, and we've done film and stage, and I've read non-favorable reviews on myself on stage either, but it's not scathing and cruel. But for some reason in the anime industry, they will just freaking skin you alive. And again, not your fault. I didn't cast myself. I didn't direct. There have been when I worked
just served the coffee.
I just served the voice. When I worked in New York and I was doing a lot of different shows in New York and different studios, there were times where I'd be in the studio and I'd be like, wow, I disagree with every single thing the director is telling me to do. I disagree with it. I don't think the voice should sound like this. I don't like the way they act. I'm being forced to act, but I'm being paid. It's a job, and I don't have a choice. I can walk out, or I can suffer through it, and I suffer through it because that's what I do.
And if you don't do what the director asks, they don't hire you back.
Right,
Exactly.
right. So, but like, that's also not my fault. And so when you read something online, and it's kind of like, kind of agree with you, kind of didn't do a good job in that, kind of not my fault, doesn't matter. But it's still kind of outstanding in a really terrible way that with this industry that some of the fans, obviously not all of them, my God, I love you people, but they can just say the most terrible things, and I'm like, I ain't even mad. That was horrible, and I'm gonna re-Facebook that because I'm gonna reshare it because that was so awful. It was fantastic. Like Showgirls bad.
There's a show
Showgirls bad.
actually from Maria Holic that actually made me very happy. I do go and read them because I like taking my popcorn to it when I've had a really bad day working with 3-year-olds. And there's hey, you gotta understand when you work with 3-year-olds and you have a filter on all day, everything that comes out of your mouth after like 4 o'clock there's probably an F-bomb in everything I say. But there was a place where I watched I just like reading debates online. I think they're funny half the time because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. But there's a man named Christopher Bevins who I watched skin someone alive on a form, and it was beautiful. Like, that is the sort of thing like I wish I could get away with, but I never could. But he was defending Greg Ayres, and it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. But
I heard about it.
the fact was,
You should have read it. It was awesome.
it was awesome, but it was almost like right after no one said anything in response to it besides, Bevins, is that really you? Hey, what'd you do dubbing that next show? Like, Bevins. Like, they completely forgot what track they were on. They're like, oh shit, it's Bevins. Hey, Bevins. Hey, when are you dubbing this next one?
You get a lot of that. I posted.
What?
I posted a couple of months ago about my sister was going through health crisis. And I posted, hey, she was doing GoFundMe.
Oh God, I saw that.
And I was posting about, my sister going through this health crisis. And several people were like, oh, so sorry, I keep you in my thoughts and prayers. Hey, I'll share this GoFundMe. But most of them were like, loved you as Frieza. Hey, when is there going to be a second season or something? I'm like,
amazing.
Talking about my sister's health here,
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
If people get monofocused,
Yeah.
Why are we all screaming when we
I don't
say
know.
what the Facebook content?
Because it makes us angry. I don't know.
Because it is therapeutic.
It's in all caps. I've always not read reviews. It's like pulling a teeth to get me to read a review of something that I've done. And I started as a
Whatever
stage
medium,
director.
right?
Whatever medium.
Yeah.
And everybody, when I started in anime, and I tell people that are newer, I'm like, don't read anything online, don't read it.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's gonna upset you. And that's what Matt and David and Janice and everybody told me, and I was like, well, it's okay. I don't read reviews anyway. Here's my reason. This is nobody else's reasons but mine. If you write a review of something that I've done, and it's glowing and wonderful, and I feel good about it, and then you write a review of something I've done and hate everything, then to my mind, I'm obligated to feel bad. If I feel good about something that one critic has written, then yes, I should feel bad about something someone has written to the negative. I would rather, and this is personally, and this was Matt's advice to me, I don't base my opinion of my work on the opinion, no, it's not true, on the opinions of online critics, because they're the vocal minority. They will get on and yell about any little thing. You know what I base my worth as a director on? Moments like this, where somebody comes up to me and says, hey, I really enjoyed this. If somebody wants to come up and be rude and say, I hated this, I'm like, well, I'm really sorry, it's already out on disc. Nothing I can do.
Cash the check.
Or people like this, like that man right there, who give me, feedback as a director and say, wow, I really enjoyed working on this. That's where, or when I look back at something and go, wow, yeah, that works. That's where, and yeah, that may be a little altruistic, but it's where I get my self-worth as a director are from fans that I meet or from the actors that I work with. And Matt told me that's what I should do, and I'm so grateful because I'd be a basket case by now if I hadn't listened to it.
I do think. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go.
Oh, no. But I didn't breathe on mic, so it doesn't count.
I think that the ones who talk to you in person as well are the ones that you can listen to. One, you can at least ask them, oh, what about the show didn't you like? If it's negative. But two, if they're willing to say it to your face, they honestly, genuinely believe it. I think about this kind of stuff a lot. Like, it'll be 2 in the morning and I'll call Chris and be like, hey, I got a question. But this sounds bad, but I do think that the online reviews are less genuine and more insidious than they actually let on.
I love how you say that. I see nods all over the room. It's nice.
I do not think the people who put it online actually hated the show as much as they did. I think they're trying to make it look worse for a really weird reason. I've noticed throughout the years, as you can clearly see, we just serve coffee, we're actors, we need to make money to get by, we like what we do, but it's also hard work, and we're not like these rock star demigods and stuff, we're just people. But the convention cosplay community kind of fetishizes voice actors to a point where even some staff, even like some conventions, will teach attendees that that we're a lot cooler than we really are. And so attendees and anime fans really want to meet someone. And I've studied abuse because I really would like to go into family law. And sometimes one of the ways that people will exert power over someone else in an abusive relationship is to break them down so much that they come to them for acceptance and they try harder to make them happy. And I think that Bevins kind of broke the mold and did not do what they wanted, but what they would really like is for a voice actor to see that and say, I didn't know, I'm sorry, I didn't do this, and that's a good way to establish a relationship and break the ice, because they know that if you just compliment them, they won't be setting them sides enough. But if you break them and make them feel awful about what they did, and they come groveling to you to say, I'll be good enough next time, I'm sorry that you felt this way, well, that's when you can start talking about, hey, when's your next show? Hey, what's this? And they're trying to establish a friendship, which is really, really
Weird way to do
sad.
it. Your hand has been up.
Wait, I just want to say one thing, Chris. First of all, I agree with everything everyone here said, and I feel the same way. But I'm just going to make myself a little vulnerable for a moment and really tell you why I don't read reviews. Yeah, just TMI, this whole, all my panels, there's been something I've been like, TMI, whatever, hey, whatever. If I'm not strong enough to read, like, I would have no problem reading reviews of my work if I can read a good review and not have it affect me, and read a bad review and not have it affect me. But if I'm reading a good review and I feel good, it's not the obligation thing that Chris was saying, although I totally hear you on that, but for me it's like, I don't feel obligated to feel good or bad. I feel good and then I feel bad. And if I'm not strong enough in going, oh, that's someone's opinion of my work, that was a really good review, move on. Oh, that's someone's opinion of my work, they didn't like it, move on. If I can't just see it for what it is and know that and just be like whatever, then I have no business reading my reviews. So that's really why I don't read them, and that's only specific to me, and I just wanted to add that.
That's very true.
I actively try not to read reviews. I have to Google myself a lot because with law school, if I'm going to be at a firm and some angry fan pastes my face on Hitler, I need to do damage control. So
well, yeah, that's
once every like 2 weeks, I just make sure there's no images, there's nothing lewd, there's nothing bad, there's no like, I'm gonna kill this person for what they've done to this person, because they always say what you've done to a person. I don't want an employer being like, did you do something to someone named Himiko Katsuragi? I'll be like, no. But like, I realize that I'm not strong enough to handle bad reviews if I'm having a bad day at law school, or I trip, or I like bump into something, and I call myself the name that I read online. I know that it's come too far.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yep.
Yeah.
You've had your hand up, so I want to be sure you got your question in.
With human psychology, really as an evolutionary aspect, the negative is picked up first, it sticks with you longer.
Always.
It's literally a survival mechanism. And while obviously, it's not flight or flight response when you're reading something online, the same wires are used. So literally, you can't.
Yeah.
You biologically, psychologically can't handle the two the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need to take action when we're content. If you're full, there's nothing you need to do. If you're hungry and you feel bad, you need to go out and find food. So it's natural to hold on to that just to make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about reviews, two different things. There's one review situation that I did read a review. This was a show that Jessica was in. The cast got very well. We had done this the first show I did with you. It was called a show called Hello Again.
Oh.
The cast got undone. Best critic in Houston came in, and the review was horrible. And everybody was upset, or almost everybody in the cast was upset. I don't think you were. And I went through and I was like, okay, let me see what's going on. So I read the review. Okay, the show was very confusing.
Are you getting there?
The show was very, very confusing for an audience in terms of the way it was structured.
It was a weird one.
What he had done is broken down the way the story was put together. He had done the show, he enjoyed the show, he had done a huge service by breaking it down so that somebody who read the review could come and follow the show. By the same token, and this is another reason that I'm very leery of praising reviews. I was doing a production of Cabaret. And this theater company came into, this newspaper came in to interview me. And oh my lord, you would have thought from this interview that they had gotten Bob Fosse and Hal Prince to come in and direct it.
Yeah.
There were references to Fosse and Prince all over it. Well, those are two major influences on my work as a director. And the journalist had picked that up and was constantly, oh, well, he's like a young Bob Fosse. He's like a young, that's believing your own press. It wasn't me. It wasn't anything that anyone else had said. It was just something this is again one person, because I'm not Bob Fosse or Hal Prince. I'm nowhere near that good.
The other thing, though, like the same show, Hello Again, there was another review that we'd gotten, and it was a smaller local paper, and I'm going to sound like I'm trying to make myself sound great, and I'm not. I actually had a problem with this. I'm really not trying. I'm being honest. But the review really liked me. It was an ensemble show. There were 10 of us. And the review focused on me. And it actually made me uncomfortable because it was an ensemble piece. And a lot of the cast members hated me. Yeah. Because we go in for the show. We go in for the show that night, and they're like, "Wow, Jessica, looks like the reviewer loved you." And I did read the review, and of course a smile went across because I did used to read my reviews. This is how I learned now not to read them. And a smile went across, and I was real proud. I was like, "Wow, wow, wow." I didn't go in talking about it, but I felt good, right? But then I get there, and my castmates are not happy, and they're hurt, and I'm like, and I'm thinking, like, yeah, actually this review isn't good because you just focus on one person and it's an ensemble. So that was just bias. Like that one person, for whatever reason, wasn't even about me, and they identified with the role and how I portrayed it, and they really liked it. But to blow one person up and to leave everyone else in the dark, and they weren't as strong, that's messed up.
Yeah.
And it made me uncomfortable. So anyway, blah, blah, blah,
Hand up
blah.
right there. Oh, there's two hands up. Back there first, and then you.
Me?
Yes, you first.
Okay.
Want to get yourself.
I just wanted to let everyone know here, if you're interested in seeing Maria Holic, we are showing it in Atrium 7 at 2:15 this afternoon.
Cool.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
And you had a hand up
front. Yeah, you're adorable. Your kimono and your little squiggle anime hair. Love it.
It's kind of on the basis of what we were talking about earlier about people blowing up voice actors to like these.
See you later, Joe.
I hope I can explain this. For me, usually how I find out about voice actors and stuff is I see them like as characters and like and stuff. And I'm like, I really appreciate the work they do, and like their voices are really amazing and they fit that character well. So then what I do is I usually research the actor as best I can, watch videos about them, go to their websites, see what other people have to say, and then I try and meet them, and then I base,
Your own opinion.
When I meet them, and like for you guys are like so important to me because to me, you are like real people. Like you treat other people like real people, and that makes me like look up to you. So you guys are like my heroes in a sense, but you're also like my best friends. Like I've known you forever. So.
Even when you get your glasses caught in their beard.
Yeah. And Krystal's actually a cat. I know you might think she's a person, but she's actually a cat. But the sentiment still stands.
Something that I always approach when dealing with fans, it's actually something Chris made a point about a long time ago with me that I think really helped me, and I stand by it today, is I don't have people who are fans specifically of me. I have people who are fans of anime, who enjoy anime, and that's why they're here. The fact that I'm in it, I'm getting to put it out for you all, and I'm glad you enjoy it. And in the end, no one's going to be a bigger critic of myself than me, so that's why I'm okay with reading terrible things. But I'm not the anime. I'm part of it, and I'm helping bring it to life. And if I did a good job and I made that one person feel like I've done their show justice, I'm as happy as they are about it when they tell me. And that's what I want to hear. I want that interaction with them to feel that connecting moment. I had a boy cry on me yesterday about Say I Love You in May. And I was really trying not to cry this morning when I found him again. Because I had this moment where I cried on Steve's Glove because I got up to him. And he was someone who inspired me in the very same way. Just he brought that character to life for me. And I love storytelling and I love all of that. So I never want to be something that's distanced from the fan. You guys aren't fans of me personally. We can be friends and acquaintances, but you're a fan of the work. And that's what I want it to be.
I think that this is also really good for the cosplay community because I've been going to conventions for like 6 years now, and I've noticed that as cosplay gets more and more competitive, it kind of is all the same thing, but if you distance yourselves from others because you think highly of yourself and you think you are the coolest thing in the world and you are too elite for them, then I pray to God that you actually believe it, because that's who you're going to have in the end, is yourself. And if you're not comfortable at the end of our lives, I might not be working in anime when I'm 70. Some of us might not. Some of us might not cosplay anymore. And if you think, I'm just so wonderful, you're all below me, I don't need to talk to you, you're not going to have anyone to talk to, and the only company you're going to have is watching old animes with you in it or looking through albums of your great cosplay pictures. And if that's enough for you, I guess you're doing the right thing. But if that's not enough for you, you need to change that now, because friends are the only thing in our lives that's going to matter when we're all old and wrinkly and look like Chris.
Yeah, and actually with that we do have to close. So thank you guys.
I want to get a picture of LaPorte.
Yes, Linda.
Can you picture of us?
That was a very sweet thing to say.
It's very, very sweet. Thank you.
Also, make sure to go down to the charity auction.
Yes,
we will
please
be
come
there
down to the
soon.
charity
That's
auction. We'll be
happening
down there in
next.
just a few minutes.
Yeah, so please make sure